it's Pigsy doing a video. Just enjoying the heat. I find myself when I do videos, I might record myself multiple times, like I'm some sort of weird perfectionist. But I guess if you're doing videos and it becomes something of an interest, you always feel you can improve on what you're doing, which is quite normal. So what did I do today? I had a bath and I put a block of ice in it. I froze a jug of water and I popped that in the bath, and I used a hot water bottle which I filled with water and I put it in the freezer. Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll pause you. Just doing some Dukes of Hazzard driving. Either that'll be trapped all day. I had to pause the video because simply you don't want to see me shaking my head as I'm watching traffic all the time, because I can't really talk and look two directions constantly. It may be read by anyone looking over that I'm cursing and angry at traffic, or I've got some major mental instabilities. What is he looking at? Is he talking to us? So yeah, so I had a nice cold bath, and there was especially injuries, very good if you've got injuries, physical injuries, and you don't have to go nuts and sort of jump in it, just sit in it, just sit in cold water that comes up to your hip or whatever. I mean, for me, I was enough so I could just lay down, put my head down, it would cover my face, and not so deep so it covered my nose as well. So what I do is open my eyes underwater, I just look up at the ceiling. It looks a bit pretty freaky. But the cool water to sort of soothe my eyes as well. That's the intention there. At the moment though, driving the car, it's cooking. It's really warm in here. But my body's got this cold sensation. It's really bizarre. It's all about the X-Man genes, getting them activated, unlocking resources. Because we don't really know how we work. It's kind of the model fits, and that's how it works. It's a bit like this, how survival of the fittest, but is it? Or is it the fact that the fit adapts? And that supports that model, you know, it just wouldn't work otherwise. But that's not going to happen in this new society we live in. It's all about the fittest. It's going to be the one that embraces a technology or offers resources for survival. This is what you are if you're a male or female. I mean, it may be a point in the future that you could buy an artificial womb, and all you'd need is the eggs. It's like do it yourself kit. Just stick a fertilised egg into a chamber and grow it in there. You know, this could be a future, but that'd be for the elite, and also you might get people trying to do madcap experiments, like trying to cross a human with something, or maybe trying to get someone famous, trying to get their DNA and do an extraction of it. I wonder if you did have something that you genetically was, you know, say someone's famous, say it was Bruce Lee's offspring. He used some of his DNA, he managed to get some of his DNA and replicate one of the family, basically. Would that child be entitled to anything legally? You could get to a certain age and say, well, you know, I am actually some biological relative of the man himself. So it's, you know, there's lots of different ways there. It's a new era. That's why we need to move forward from capitalism. It's holding us back, really. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with my body. So at the moment it's hot, it's warm to touch, I can feel it's warm, but internally it's cold, which normally occurs when you have internal blood loss or something. No, stay there, thank you. I don't want any collisions, because you can kind of sensing that traffic's weird. That's very weird though, because I'm not aware the body. I mean, okay, the body adapts to warm up, but I'm not aware it's got some internal cooling mechanism. The only thing that's got that would be like mammoths have got some different. They can warm themselves up. I don't think they can cool themselves down though without sweating. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing, and I just have to see how it goes. Really, it could be a malfunction. My nerves feel cold even though it's hot. There is difficulty telling between cold and warm, but they both can damage in the same way. You can get frostburn, but as you can get actually burnt, a dry burn. They're different. Like there's chemical burn. There's all sorts of different burns, but they all cause inflammation and redness and soreness. And an ice one is a bit different. So yeah, so it's kind of different effects on the body. So that was from having my ice bath. And I had this strange experience as well, because what happens, or maybe that's why it would, you had to chemically warm yourself up, just. Basically, when you put your head under water, sometimes you get like a dizziness if it's cold, that cold, and the room spins a bit. And what I found myself was that my body adapted. So I was cold, it was moving, and I just went through it basically, I just persevered it. That barrier, and I was just sort of staring at this like a mirror or something, and then the dizziness went. This sort of dizziness of the room moving, it disappeared altogether, which I thought was quite strange. Just because it's a bit like, you know, if you were spinning. It was spinning and suddenly you stop getting dizzy. Well, usually what happens when you spin is when you stop moving, you are affected by the spinning, and that's because of changes in your blood pressure in your brain, I guess. But during the actual spin itself, you can feel the effects of it, but you're not really, it's not causing the room to spin. So essentially the ears. So why did they adjust, and what happened there? I don't know. It's just one of those strange things. Maybe the brain's compensated. It realised that the information it's getting from its ears, which has been affected by the cold water, is false, and so it's kind of switched off from it. It's the same way, like in the past, I used to have travel sickness, and that's not there anymore. But I always thought when I started driving, it may return. But I haven't had it really, so it's a bit different when you're actually driving, because your mind is more focused on delivering and not using the vehicle. So yeah, it's trying to lock gears in a bit. So that's an interesting effect of thermogenesis, having some strange sensation like I'm hot on the outside, cold on the inside. Wasn't there something I read about fats in coldness? I have to have a look at that. That was something from Cole Robson's videos. And it was about fat burn and giving this cold sensation. It could be that chemically my body's... Why would it want to do that? I have to have a look at that. What you said about the body feeling cold when it's burning fats. Because that would be quite interesting. Anything else? Yeah, I've got my experiments. I'll show you at some point a difference. I probably need to actually do the experiment with the vitamin C one, ascorbic acid, or ascorbic acid, as sometimes say. Ascorbic, yeah, and there's citric acid. So I've got this vitamin C powder. So I add that to some water. I add some Himalayan salts, and then I'll stick some carbon rods in it and electrocute the mixture. Because it creates something that was blue, but it increases, because of the carbon rods, it extract carbon out of the air, out of the water. It increases the oxygen, I believe. I've done it before. I've made a kind of it oxidates it, makes a kind of bleach. The more oxygen you got in it, more potential to act as a bleach. probably alkaline as well. So acid environments have got more carbon dioxide in them, I guess, or more dioxide. So I just have to experiment to find that out. But why am I getting these cold sensations in my arms? It's not really in my stomach. Unless I'm breaking down fats. I'm breaking down muscle, that would be fun. I will have to see, have to experiment. It's the only way to learn anything. You know, it's not if you do an experiment you can come back from. And so a bit like, I must have made this mixture, I analyse it and then see if it's worth eating. Oh, what did she go like that? Some woman walked around into someone's driveway and then walked back out again. Like she was some stealth. Maybe she was avoiding treading on the cracks or playing a game in her head. I did that once when I was young, actually. If I could get to a certain point before a car got there, my wish would come true. Rarely did that happen. But it was this idea of luck, and then if it went wrong, you got bad luck, you know, it's a kind of a madness. So the other thing I've playing around with, I kind of technically I've had, well, it could be 2 meals. I did have an energy drink earlier, it tasted of shite, I don't know why I bothered. I just had some weird thing. I think because once you have a bit of sugar, it somehow causes a reaction, so you wouldn't have more sugar, or maybe your body overreacts with the insulin spike. Or maybe it wants to dump all the insulin out of your body, I don't know. It wants you to use it and then not eat anything, you just leave it alone, not sort of have little nibbles here and nibbles there. So, yeah, but there's only, according to what was on the can, there's probably about 150 calories in it. And I read somewhere like a cup of tea or something like 40 calories, so whether that's true or not, I have to double check that, it must be less than that. Maybe it's just 4 calories. That's it, I want to go this way. I love it. Definitely look slimmer in myself, but I'm, you know, experimenting with adding some sugars back into my diet in certain ways. I need to avoid that. The drink was pretty crap. I had a big chunk of chocolate cake, but it was from at a celebration over a week ago, and I was wondering about this chocolate cake, and my mum said, "Hey, I've got some chocolate cake." So I said, well, I'm up for it, and I've just had a big chunk with my dinner, with my main lunch. But I've only had 1 meal, so I had like a ready meal, which aren't great things either. I like to cook my own usually, from fresh, or just a sandwich, or whatever. And so I've had that meal, I've had some chocolate cake, and I've had a sports drink, and that's it. And I probably was to go to my clients and visit people. If they say you want a cup of tea, I'll probably take a black cup of tea if I do. Or I might not bother. Ideally not to bother. There we go. Why was I doing that? That's strange. It's a problem with the lights, they change sometimes too quick. It started to turn amber, I realised I'm not really going fast enough to get through. So I had to it's her right way, and she's young girl, I don't want to run her over. And also if I go in for the light and it's red light, I'm basically committing the crime. But it's amazing how some people cross the road. I had somebody, they're just like walking slowly. I understand that a car can't run you over because that would be illegal, you know, it breaks the law. But the other issue is the road is not your designated area. You know, it's a bit like I can't drive down the paths at 30 miles an hour and expect you to jump out of the way. It may be a time where for some reason I'm, you know, cutting across the driveway or whatever, I can't expect you to just jump out of the way. So equally, you have to, it's what they call a fairway, you have to give way for that vehicle. I don't understand. If somebody starts walking out into a junction and they're not paying attention to the cars, then they are becoming an obstruction. They've chosen to be an obstruction. I mean, the only thing I give way for is animals, so I think if they want to sit themselves with animals, and sometimes I do for people, but it usually places the car at risk, because if I'm entering from a junction into this, well, I'm entering into this junction area, even if it's a minor road, my arse of my car might be stuck out because I'm waiting for someone to cross the road before I can drive in there. So, anyway, it's nothing to do with OMAD or fasting. Yeah, I'll just mention some great things. I mean, there's some stuff. I've got probably put up another video about C-Dub, and there's another one. There's Marion as well in there, which is interesting. So there's lots of fasting videos from different people to look at, and just approach with an open mind. That's the main thing. Because it's not a case of one method fits all. Apart from, you know, most people can do one meal a day, or most people can actually fast. Otherwise, you'd be dead. You wouldn't survive the night if you couldn't have an issue. You'd have an issue with that. But the consciousness is a driving force. Your body is a portal for energies and other things, resources and intelligence systems. If it exists, and in some point one of your ancestors or it has happened before to one of your life forms, if you're a human or whatever you are, it's a resource you can tap into. Bloody cars, idiots. So yeah. So I have to see some other developments. I started writing to some Russian people, but there's usually sites to do that. Russian personals, if you're interested in that kind of thing. You get a more, because it's free, you're not going to have so much crap, but you might get people not real. Obviously you don't give them money, but you might just meet someone neutral and then meet up with them, because it's a big world, and just have a bloody holiday. Russian Keeper's not too bad, but I just stick to people that are paid members. You know, they got their platinum and gold, they've been verified. It's a lot easier than paying loads of money and free members and whatever other members try to write to you, and it's just a load of junk to get money out of you. You don't want all that. So that's on that note. Anything else? No, there's not really nothing really else to talk about at the moment. Just enjoy the weather, it's lovely. And also get into thermogenesis. I mean, you probably have hot baths anyway when you're tired, but all that does is it increases your circulation. What you don't probably do when you're tired is have a cold bath, and then possibly like when you wake up in the morning, you have a hot one. Hot one wakes you up. The cold one settles you down a bit, so you get the right mix in there. Anyway, this is Pig to sign off, and speak to you soon.